and the residents of the Rotundas, brought to you tonight by Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee. Always 20 minutes fresh. James Reimer says stop all 74 shots in his last 2 games. And Devin Dubnyk makes his first ever start against the Maple Leafs, as is Reimer doing against Edmonton.
And the big story for the Edmonton Oilers, of course, coming in, Dave Gagne with that unbelievable night that he had in the first round against Minnesota. Star of the week, obviously, Gagne and James Reimer with back-to-back shutouts. He's right there as the third star, and they will meet tonight.
Fourth player the Leafs have had recognized
third star
of the week this season. Fourth player the Leafs have had recognized as a star of the week this season. Referees are Rob Martell of Winnipeg. He's 48. Mark Jeanette of Verdun is 43. David Brisebois of Sudbury is joined by Tim Watt of Buffalo as linesman. And we get going with a puck right into the crowd already.
Stanley Cup second round.
Ron Wilson, although he loved his game and the way the team played against the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night, he thought the best performance perhaps of the year was the game in Pittsburgh, where they actually lost the game in the last 5 minutes, but were dominating throughout the contest. He's okay.
Petrie with a shot that's blocked. A rebound from the goal.
He's not behind the bench tonight. So he's
win
okay.
against Tampa Bay.
Petrie with a shot that's blocked. A rebound from the goal.
A rebound from the goal. Scores! Kessel strikes first for game one. 1-0 lead. 17 seconds in the first period.
Gets the Leafs Oilers on top, and Ron Wilson is upset about something. But Everly scores 21 seconds into the frame.
Right off the face-off here, a scramble draw. The puck will go back to the point, and there, Grabowski in front of that. He trips up his man, no penalty now. Good puck recovery. They just throw it towards the net. And when that happens, it's Dion Phaneuf that ends up passing the puck right back to Everly. And it goes off Phaneuf's stick and then right there to Everly after Taylor Hall just took a puck. And often when you just throw pucks towards the net, good things happen. We've heard that a lot of cliche in hockey, but there is a good example of Hall just turning around and throwing it towards the net. The Oilers get a break.
Ortog drops it back quickly, jacobs it around back of the net. Reimer got tangled up a bit as it comes to the flow line. A shot right on, there's a rebound, and it's cleared into the corner. And the Oilers have started quickly, and the Leafs have started a little bit in neutral. Ortog trying to get in over the line, but Cranston took it away from him, and the puck comes to the near side. John Michael Lyles back to recover. Lyles launching it high to the line and in. Here's a chance for Joffrey Lupo, and he ripped it high over top of the goal. Good play by Shen to keep it into the bouncing puck. A hit there, but Lupo comes away with the loose puck. Lupo working back towards the blue line, sends it towards the net. Kessel unable to get to it. Finally is stationed back to the goal. Kessel unable to get it away, and it is poked free by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and now it'll be brought to center ice. Right wing side and in for Smith.
And Gagne, if you can imagine, with another point, we're going to show it to you in a moment, but when things go well, they really go well. And we'll show you why in a few seconds.
Here's Gardner getting it ahead. He had just 4 assists in his previous 9 games.
7 assists.
Now he is on fire. Now here's Kraft coming to the net. Kraft still with it. Trying to center it out in front. It is back into the line, but no, the Thompson shot is right on. There's a rebound. But it's smothered by Devin Dubnyk and held for a face-off.
Well, we're going to show you what I mean here. Like, often when things are going well, they're really going well, and Dave Gagne is going to get credit for a play here, and it hits him right in the rear end. And he doesn't touch it again, and then Hall throws it towards the net, and there's the assist as the goal goes in. When you're hot, you're hot.
They don't ask Kyle to tell them, especially in contract time.
It hits really
out in front, and it's backhanded to the line, but not over. Jackson shot is right on. There's a rebound.
What a goal!
things are going well. They're really going well. And Dave Gagne is going to get credit for a play here. And it hits him right in the rear end. And he doesn't touch it. He hit. And then Hall throws it towards the net. And there's the assist. That's a credit for a wonderful receiver. And then Hall throws it towards the net. And there's the assist. That's the goal goes in. When you're hot, you're hot.
They don't ask how, it's how. Especially a contractor. Ball on the left wing side, gets it out at center, and here's Gagne across the line. Gagne into the corner, and Johnson gets away from him and Phil. Just gave the puck away there, and now it's on the run. Rolling into the blue line. There's Hawks going, and there's the second goal. Here's a big save with the left hand. Gagne gives the puck away there to Everly. He drops the Hall, but couldn't get a shot away. Hall taken to the boards, and now is Whitney with it. To the near side, it comes to Porter. Porter trying to play it along the boards. Can't find an open man, but Everly frees it up. Hall couldn't get away. And the Leafs now start out with Kuhlman. Right, Kuhlman going to launch it down in Edmonton territory. An early goal here by the Oilers has ended the shutout streak for the Maple Leafs.
Remember, this Oiler team coming off wins against Detroit and Chicago. They've been playing very, very well, and they're now healthy.
This period brought to you by Toyota. Now it's time to get behind the wheel of a Toyota and drive home a deal.
And Stecco with the best leap chance so far early here in this hockey game. Another broken play and a giveaway, a little miscue there. A real good save by Vidic there as he held.
Or Petrie with a shot with the puck. Scores! Jordan Everly gets the lead for the Leafs. Scores! On top, and Ron Wilson is upset about something.
20 points.
But Everly scores 21 seconds
The
away
Leafs
from.
are within one.
Well, right off the face-off here, a scramble draw. The puck will go back to the point, and there Grabowski in front of that. He trips up his man, no penalty now. Good puck recovery. They just throw it towards the net. And when that happens, it's Dion Phaneuf that ends up passing the puck right back to Everly. And it goes off Phaneuf's stick and then right there to Everly after Taylor Hall just took the puck and off and he just throw pucks towards the net. Good things happen. We've heard that a lot of cliche in hockey, but there is a good example of Hall turning around and throwing it towards the net.
An early goal here by the Oilers has ended the shutout streak for the Maple Leafs.
Remember, this Oiler team coming off wins against Detroit and Chicago.
Has been scored with 7 seconds left in the game in Pittsburgh, and Edmonton scores 21 seconds into this match. So the team shutout streak didn't last long, and Reimers didn't either. Back to the net now for Luke Schenn. Everly has 5 goals in the last 4 games. Never mind how hot Gagne is. Here's Kessel in across the line. Kessel going wide. Couldn't get the shot off there. In the way. Barker takes the puck from him and puts it down into the Toronto zone. Ransom going back around behind the Toronto goal. Lays it up on the left wing. Brought on by Bozak. Bozak taken wide, but Lupul onto the puck. Lupul had it knocked off his stick, but recovers. Now having difficulties with it. Makes a nice move to elude Hensky. Got it into the slot area, but Lyles couldn't finish with a shot on goal. Brought back now by Everly, and a shot by Hensky goes over top of the goal. Rebound on the near side, fed to center ice. Petrie got it back into neutral ice. Backhanded by the Leafs, hit over the line for Kessel. Kessel wide, trying to find Bozak going through the middle. And it's intercepted and brought back by Nugent Hopkins. Over the line and drop pass down. Hensky rather with a shot. That's back by Nolan. It comes back to the blue line. Kept alive there by Speed. Speed had it blocked. Hensky was also blocked. Maintained by Edmonton. Vladislav Smee into the corner and around back to the net. It goes for Ben Eager. Eager trying to find Petrie, but back along the boards. It comes to the blue line with a long shot that is smothered by Reimer. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK ND, providing you with 20/20 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with three puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries, if you can imagine, of different kinds. But incredible. That's really hurt the Oilers in terms of getting the puck up to those speedy.
Smothered by Ryan. And there'll be a face-off.
Scores! 3-1 lead. 4 goals in 4 minutes.
Coming in the Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK ND, providing you with 20/20 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with three puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries, if you can imagine, of different kinds. Incredible. That's really hurt the Oilers in terms of handling the ball. Edmonton Oilers with three puck-handling.
HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK ND, providing you with 20/20 view. And there'll be a face-off.
A while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker.
Ball comes through.
8 minutes, 47 seconds.
Get it out. Cutter leaves it on the left wing and then deposits it down into the Toronto end. Gagne. That's knocked away. Comes up onto the wing. The Leafs don't get it out past him. Potter at the point. Long shot is deflected in front of the net. Gagne was there again. There to the line and out. Fired right back in again by Edmonton. Approaching 6 minutes played in the first period. 1-0 Oilers. Matthew Lombardi slips it down into Edmonton territory. Dubnyk played it around on the board, but it's cut off by the Leafs. Unable to keep it in. Gardner. Here are the Oilers through center. Into the slot. Oh, good save made there on Ryan Jones. As the left-handed Reimer snapped out there. Oilers with it again. Belanger on the wing to Jones, dropping it back. A long shot is blocked off the stick, and it comes to the far side. Now back to the blue line once more. Trying to keep the puck in. The Oilers do. It comes back into the slot. Dished off onto the left wing side, and a wrist shot is off the blocking glove of Reimer, and it'll be brought in. Played to the line and in. Gilbert trying to take his man to the boards, can't do it. And it's around back to the net now for Belanger. Played to the line and out in the Leafs regrouping. Played right back down into Edmonton territory. This is wide of the goal, though. It's going to end up being an icing call.
Now, my good friend Doug McLean, you know, we have a bit of a thing going back and forth, and he's helping me out this time. Thank you, Mr. McLean. I think I call Sam Dave, thank you as well. Yeah, he'd love to get that many points in the game, and I'm sure he's
the outdoor rink business going anyway.
Proud father at the moment, as he should be.
Well, he's been involved in the 12 of the last 13 Oiler goals. Territory. This is why the goal, though, is going to end up being an icing call.
Now, my good friend Doug McLean.
This is why the goal, though, is going to end up being an icing call.
Now, my good friend Doug McLean, you know, we have a bit of a thing going back and forth, and he's helping me out this time. Thank you, Mr. McLean. I think I call Sam Dave.
Saturday, the national winners went home to New Jersey on Saturday. They lost that game
for so long. I knew that we had to
that game win.
I'll do that one. It's been the hottest guy in National Hockey League.
We are set to go. Shy of one. And Dave
he'd love to get that many points in the game.
The outdoor rink business going anyway.
You believe, and Doug McLean, the next time you make a mistake, and it happens, I know that I listen to you, believe me, I'll be texting you to help you out.
Icing charge here against the Leafs, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone.
2012
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey.
To the Toronto zone.
3-1 Leafs.
It's the Leafs, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone.
Sportsnet. Molson you by Molson Canadian. Made from Canada.
Well, the hottest player ever in one game is going to celebrate an anniversary tomorrow. Darryl Sittler's 10-point night. February 7th, 1976. It's an offside coming here at the Toronto blue line. The Oilers on a goal by Eberle have a winner at the Toronto blue line. The Oilers on a goal by Eberle have a 1-0 lead over Toronto. The Oilers
last 5 games, and they really start off very well in this hockey game. Reimer's had all kinds of traffic in front of him. There's a terrific left pad save on Jones moments ago, and the Oilers have had 2 or 3 more quality chances, and of course they're already up 1-0, and they've outshot the Maple Leafs 7-2 already.
The only goal, Eberle from Gagne and Hall, 21 seconds into this game. And the ball knocked down into the Toronto zone, and Carl Gunnarsson reverses the puck there for Kuhlman. Off the boards for Clark MacArthur. He is unable to handle it. Kuhlman got it towards the line, but not out. Now does. And it's MacArthur at center, playing it in over the line for Grabowski. Kuhlman to the front of the net. Oh, and he made contact. Now a backhand by Grabowski is spotted by Dubnyk. Oh, and he made contact. Now a backhand by Grabowski is spotted by Dubnyk. With that because he knocked it wide of the net.
Well, this is something that's been lacking from the Leafs game so far, the transition with speed so far tonight. And here it comes, and I think Dubnyk did get right across. No, he missed the net on the first chance, but certainly gets there on the wraparound attempt by Grabowski. And the tip by Kuhlman, that's the way the season has been going for him, as he misses the net, and he was wide open with the goalie going the other way. Wide open. This is the net. Wide open with the goalie going the other way.
Nugent Hopkins saved out of the face-off. Smith in there, and the puck comes up. And Smith in there, and the puck comes up on the wing for Alex Hemsky, and he gets it over on the left-wing side, and it'll be chipped into the zone by Nugent Hopkins as Shen stepped into him. Here's Hemsky around back of the net. Smith in his usual spot in front of the goal, but the pass didn't reach him. And he's able to loft it into the center ice area. Potter dropping it back into his own zone. Here's Smith, broken up there by the Leafs, and here's Clark MacArthur in over the line. Clark MacArthur with a shot, and that was stopped. The rebound comes in front of the goal. They score! There by the Leafs, and here rebound. Clark MacArthur in over the line. Clark MacArthur with a shot, and that was stopped. The rebound comes in front of the goal. They score! They score! The key to that was a shot that went off the mask of Dubnyk, and they were never able to recover.
And the turnover in the neutral zone. And that's what creates the problem here. Nugent Hopkins right here in the neutral zone.
And they were never recovered.
And the turnover right here in the neutral zone. And that's what creates the problem here. Nugent Hopkins turns it over, and then a big rebound, and then another turnover. This time by Potter, and then one touch pass by Grabowski afterwards. There's the big rebound. There's the second turnover. And nice little touch pass, and MacArthur has been red hot of late. And he lights it up again there. Clark MacArthur before this game, 7 points in his last 4 games rather. 4 in goal. Game 1 for both team winners as well, Grant.
Puck down in the Toronto zone as Luca tries to get it freed up. And back to the point. Gilbert holds, gets the shot away, and it's going wide. The long line will be held.
If you're making a difference for hockey, we need to help. Apply for an RBC Play Hockey grant today, and you could receive funding and financial advice for hockey in your community.
The key for the Leafs here is to get right after the Edmonton Oilers defense. They have some terrific young forwards, Edmonton. Their defense is still a work in progress. And you just saw what can happen when you get right after an Oilers defense and create some giveaways. He's come up with a big goal here in this period to tie the game up.
Between MacArthur and Grabowski, they've had 18 points in the last 6 games. So and Kessel and Lupo. Here's a chance in front of the glove save. Oh, again, he made by line
6-1.
When Kessel and Lupo cooled off, Grabowski, Kuhlman, and MacArthur caught fire. And doing it at home is something that they're not used to doing. They have great numbers on the road, but MacArthur just getting his 4th goal on home ice here of the 17 he scored. Reimer with a great glove save there as Clark MacArthur has tied the game at ones with his 17th. Grabowski and Kessel drawing assists as they change of players as a wrist shot is blocked in front of the net. And from sitting on the seat of his pants, Conley gets it out at center. Lombardi nudged off the disc. It goes around on the boards. It comes to the line, but not out. Cody Franson across ice feed for Lyles. Lyles into the slot area for Crab. Crab diligently working back to the net. Being grabbed on there by Speed. Cycles it back behind the goal, and Conley is in pursuit. Here's Crab cutting it off. Against the boards, it is Petrell who can't get away. Now Franson knocks it down. And the shot. And a pad save made there by Dubnyk. Pass into the slot is broken up and played to center ice. Lyles chases it down. Franson. A rink-wide feed deflected in over the line. But it'll be regrouped now by Corey Potter and brought down into the Toronto zone. Round back to the net for Toronto. Fans on the pass. Here's a chance for Eberle. Going to the net, shot blocked. Brown got this in their corner. Shot out the side of the goal. Into the corner goes Sam Gagner. Gagner loses it. Steckel gets it out into the center ice area. Leon Phaneuf has had a couple of hiccups here in the first 10 minutes.
A difficult first period for sure.
Oilers back in their own zone. Whitney gets it ahead at center. Here's Alex Hensky in over the line. A nifty little move there, but couldn't get around Phaneuf without having it deflected wide. Steckel gets it to ground and finds Armstrong. Armstrong trying to weave around the defense. Trying to get around Cam Barker once more. Into the corner now for Steckel in front of the net for Kuhlman, who was off the bench. But it went off the heel of his stick and down the ice. Gardner sends a rink-wide pass that eludes Clark MacArthur. Schenn, as the Oilers are taking this opportunity to change. Up on the left wing it comes to MacArthur. Back to Schenn. And Luke Schenn will give it off to Jake Gardner, who has a little problem with it there. They'll regroup it around back to the net. Schenn, a lead pass trying to spring Kuhlman, but didn't work. Off the boards to the line and tipped into the Toronto zone by Ryan Jones, the Chatham native. And it is smothered at the side of the goal by Reimer. It is a 1-1 tie with 8:33 to go in the first.
And these two combined have been absolutely unbelievable along with Clark MacArthur ever since. And here's a sample of the goals the last couple of weeks, and there's the tying goal tonight to tie this thing up with 8:33 to go in the first period.
On the road, Mikhail Grabowski is plus 13, third best in the National Hockey League, and Clark MacArthur is fourth at plus 11. At home, they've struggled, but now they're heating up here at the ACC as well.
Presents a real problem for the opposition. Most teams have just one shutdown pair of defense. And who is shut down at the moment? You go for the Grabowski line and the Kessel line can hurt. Or vice versa.
Swept around the boards and Lupo will steer it out and down the ice in a race for it. Kessel's going to get there ahead of Ladislav's Speed. Centered in front and getting the shot away with Bozak, but it went wide. Lupo working around back to the net. Hustles into the corner with it. Looks to cycle it. Gets it back to the point of Lyles. Back to Lupo. And he had it stripped away there by Ryan Jones. Jones gets it out. Lyles fed it right back into the crowd. And the Oilers, with 7:50 to go in the first period, are organizing around their blue line. And Jones will leave it there as he peels to the bench. Both teams changing. And it's flipped into the Oiler bench. Play will be whistled down, and it'll be a face-off back in Edmonton territory.
Well, Cody Franson, I talked to him this morning a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting pucks through. Well, his father worked at the rink in Sycamoose, his hometown. He used to go to the rink all the time, and he told me that it was my dad's favorite shots. He taught me early to snap the puck towards net as many times as I could as a youngster. And then he said once he got to junior, he started to then change the angle and work very hard at making sure pucks got through. So again, you talk to these athletes, and so often they've worked at their skills, and that's why they're good at it.
A centering pass by Conley went off the side of the goal. Swept back there by Lombardi. And now brought out by Hall. Hall with some speed through the neutral zone, trying to get around Fanook. Got a shot away, but it's going to be deflected up into the screen and out of play.
Taylor Hall just having such a terrific year once again.
Look at the statistics there.
Yeah, and he's had some injuries as well, only 4 points short of last season's production.
He attended the Heritage Classic back in 2003 as an 8-year-old. I said, what do you remember? He said it was cold and everybody was drinking beer. He couldn't understand it.
Including him?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. Centering pass, shot there by Steckel, went off the skate. Into the corner goes Armstrong. Steckel down there. And have a little trouble doing anything here without his stick as he lost it in the fray. It comes around on the boards, and now Steckel's going to be able to pick up that cue on the way out. Pass on the right wing for Hensky. Broad pass Smith into the slot. The shot goes high over top of the goal. Hensky around back of the net. Nugent Hopkins out there at the center ice position with them. The Oilers have got some great young stars on the forward line, but as you mentioned, Milty, it's defense that they're going to have to concentrate on here in the next little while. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as fires home and away. Grabowski with great speed, round back of the net, centers, scores! And it's like Dr. Defense that they're going to have to concentrate on here in the next little while. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as fires. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
From the defense, he moves around everybody, and then here comes the delay, and he finds Gardner, who is left off everybody, including Cam Barker, and that sets up this little play, and we talked about in our open.
Last year they had a pass in his skates in front of the net, and the Leafs unable to get clear of it. Bozak has it in his skates again. Plays the line on over, shot right on, and that was knocked away there by Reimer. Leafs carry back at centering in over the line for Luka. Unable to get to it, but gets a piece of his man. Bozak unable to get to it as well. And now we have a broken piece of glass over there. One of the stanchions has come apart. We'll fix it while you're gone.
He's going to be right behind Mikhail Grabowski here. Now watch what he does. Bad change by Ryan Smith. Gardner sees it, and now he delays it a little bit and then arrives right at the right time and sneaks in, and nobody picks him up. It's actually a 5-on-4 situation as the Oilers get caught in a bad change, and he just sneaks in. There's the pass. Not a great shot, really not hard, but well placed to give the Leafs a 2-1 lead. And what a first year this kid has had. He's averaging over 20 minutes a game.
Round 2.
And there are his numbers. Plus 9 now. He's quietly snuck up in that area also.
Yeah,
Second goal of the season.
Sorry, guys. Just, a week this Thursday will be the one-year anniversary of his acquisition alongside that of Joffrey Luke. Pretty good deals, it turned out.
Oilers back in their own zone. 2-1 in favor of Toronto. After Everly's goal, 21 seconds in, MacArthur and Gardner have scored for the Leafs. After Everly's goal, 21 seconds in, MacArthur and Gardner have scored for the Leafs. Hall getting it to the line and delayed offside. Played back out by the Maple Leafs.
2 goals.
Petrie getting it up on the left wing side, and it's backhanded down into the Toronto zone. Into the corner goes Gagne after it. Flipped away from him, and Clark MacArthur will launch it out at center ice on a pass to Kuhlman. Grabowski catching up on the rush. Kuhlman gets it in over the line. Grabowski in along the boards. A long alley-oop pass to center. Gardner is there to free it up. Kuhlman brings it back into his own zone. Gardner heads to the red line. Change is coming as the long shooting goes wide of Dubnik's cage. Back into the corner for Ryan Whitney, and he gets it up on the wing, and the Oilers try to move it out. The drop pass went to Nugent Hopkins. His pass ahead for Smith didn't work. Along the boards, Whitney into the rush, and Gardner has taken it away and finds Luke Shen. Shen with a long backhand that will bounce past the defense down into the Oilers zone. Now back in the net, Gilbert playing it up onto the ring, and Smith pass. Partially blocked, but carried on by Nugent Hopkins in across the line. Drop pass, goes to the side of the goal, and Franson took it away there and sends it ahead at center. Here's a chance for Lombardi, through on the defense, he's going to goal! And down to smother the 5.
Versus the Leafs have really come on the second half of this. Where is that change?
It's wild, but it's offside. Center ice area.
Down to the 12th right.
They want Bosch. Seymour of Stevensville, who's 70. Harley Worcester, who works in the front office with the Leafs. His daughter, Mary Troy, 102 years young in Etobicoke, watching the game tonight. Big Leaf fan. Love Sundin and Gilmore and Clark. Congratulations. Here are the Oilers back in across the line. Torkoff with a shot, and that was knocked down by Reimer. The rebound around back of the net. Torkoff tied up there by Lupul. Puck comes free. Horkoff coming out in front, sends it back. Petrie with a chance in front, and the shot by Horkoff went nowhere. Horkoff was 5 feet in front of the goal.
Wide open.
Yeah. Why send it further away? Oilers back in their own zone, and Hall starts down the left wing. Hall working against Shen. Stops, got it into the slot. Nice pass. Everly again. Scores! Get back Shen in their own zone, and Hall starts down the left wing. Hall working. Oilers back in their own zone, and Hall starts down the left wing. Hall working against Shen. Stops, got it into the slot.
And a highly skilled, you can see up front.
Greg, you mentioned Taylor Hall's strength, lower body. His dad's a former national bobsled.
The assist.
Do to you if no mistake to tie this game up. And you can see what the Oilers can do to you if you give them time and space.
MacArthur. Whoa! MacArthur floated a tire. At the point, kept in there by Potter. A centering pass. Where's the puck? It's in the net. No, waved off by the official.
Ryan Smith has made a career of being in goal creases. And he's a bit of a marked man in the National Hockey League because of it. And this goal will not count as the official immediately waves it off. And here goes Smith where he always goes, right in front of the net. Boy, oh boy. And
Incidental contact with the goaltender.
Sitting there, and he knocked it in the net.
There's no 36 to play in the period. Guy from the net. 1:36 to play in the period. 5-1 as they go off the leg. Fed back at center. Cut off there by Gardner. Played into the blue line area. Grab had to get back on side to keep the play alive. And it's back out into the center ice area for Hall. Pass intercepted by Phaneuf. Dion Phaneuf to center, and he'll backhand it down into the Edmonton zone. Minute 12 to go in the period. Laid out at center ice. Now here's Gagne. Left wing pass for Hall, and his feet in front of the net, which was a pass, was kicked away by Reimer. Everly now has a goal in all 3 career games he's played against Toronto. As a deflection there had to be watched carefully by Dubnyk. Here the Leafs again in front with a shot. Dubnyk with the save. Again another try by Lombardi. Played around back of the net. Crab unable to get to it. Everly knocks it down, and Everly striding out at center with Jeff Petrie into the rush with him. Petrie into the corner. Trying to work around back of the net. Cycles the puck now, and here are the Oilers with it again. Back to the blue line, it comes a long shot, and seeing that all the way.
Now,
but I mean, he's played terrific again this year for Edmonton since coming back. I mean, what a season he has had at his age. 16 goals and 36 points.
And along the boards, the Leafs trying to get it out. Lupul does. Snaps it ahead, and Kessel with speed down the right wing, trying to turn the defense. And a good play made by Corey Potter to get back there and go into it. Leafs keep it alive, just seconds left. And with a loose puck in an empty net, not enough time to do the damage. Gordon Everly with a big first period, but the Leafs to tie. Let's go to the boys.
3 Bozak goals.
Time. Let's go to the boys. Time. Let's go.
Great sport of hockey and shape NHL season, all with Edmonton.
Was a bit of a track meet in that first period. 2 goals apiece. Everly has both for Edmonton. MacArthur and Gardner scoring for Toronto. And Mikhail Grabovski with a couple of assists on the Toronto goal.
Well, it started very early as the Edmonton Oilers got on the board as Taylor Hall threw it towards the net, and Everly ended up with the goal as Canuck gave it away, and the Leafs used their speed. Clark MacArthur, we've seen this combination with Grabovski, and then Grabovski again. This time finds Gardner sneaking in from the point, and then Everly again right at the very end of the period to tie the game up at 2.
Shots favor Edmonton 15-11 in the first period. And after the slow start by Grabovski, boy, has he caught fire. 44 shots, 24 points, and 18 goals. And 21 assists now. 39 points.
And in a contract year, too.
And 28 scouts here tonight. And general managers in attendance. Lots of them around.
I'll tell you, there's a school day game in Hamilton tomorrow, 1 in Toronto on Wednesday. So this is a triple header for all these guys.
And we hear more from Scott Morrison when we hear from him.
Here's a chance for Kuhlman, and a long shot is deflected wide by Dubnyk. On the boards, Kuhlman couldn't get to it, and Hall starts away on the left wing side. Hall trying to get around Phaneuf, a bouncing shot that one hops up into the glove of Reimer, and he's going to hold on for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the left.
Now, both goalies, I'm sure, are not pleased that 2 goals got behind them, but both goalies also had to make some huge saves, as you mentioned, Joe. A bit of a track meet in the first period as both teams gave the puck away a little too much, but I'm sure the coaches would have liked.
Phil Kessel recorded his 300th career flex line of the Toronto goal. Centering effort didn't get there. And on the left wing side, Hall trying to get around Phaneuf, a bouncing shot that one hops up into the glove of Reimer, and he's going to hold on for a face-off.
Well, for the Nashville Predators tonight, the 4 games they've played so far this year, they've allowed 31 or more shots against, so they'll have to limit shots against Edmonton. They kind of dial that range in. And for the Oilers, a quick reload. The quick transition of Nashville is where they capitalize on teams when pucks are turned over.
300th career point on the assist of Clark MacArthur's goal in the first. Speed shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Centering effort didn't get there. Hops up into the glove of Reimer, and he's going to hold on for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the left.
Both goalies, I'm sure, are not pleased that 2 goals got behind them, but both goalies also had to make some huge saves, as you mentioned, Joe. A bit of a track meet in the first period as both teams gave the puck away a little too much, but I'm sure the coaches would have liked it.
Phil Kessel recorded his 300th career point on the assist of Clark MacArthur's goal in the first period. Speed shot deflects wide of the Toronto side. Jones. Reimer leaving it around back of the net. And Frampson with an outlet pass for Lupul. Lupul trying to go wide on the defense. Took a pretty good hit there from Ladislav Speed. It goes back in, by Jeff Petrie, who stood him up. And now Petrie gets it up on the left wing side, and Horkoff is away. Petrie's been jumping into the rush repeatedly. Had a great pass for the goal earlier, and now Lupul with it now, launching it out at center. Here's a chance for Kessel along with Bozak. Kessel back to Bozak, and unable to get the shot away. Nugent Hopkins may have got away with a bit of a hook there, but he made a great play nonetheless. Shen back to the net. Wrapped around attempt by Lupul went wide. Rebound at the blue line, and Shen unable to keep it in against Horkoff. Gardner has it deflecting by Bozak. Into the far corner is Lombardi, taking a pass. Sends it back into the corner and back of the net now for Conley. Tim Conley centers. Lombardi took his time. What a goal! Lombardi taking a pass, sends it back into the corner and back to the net now for Conley. Centers. Lombardi for Taylor Hall. Scores!
Use their speed. At least a little chip and chase here to shoot to start this off. And again, they use their speed. And at least a little chip and chase here to shoot to start this off. And again, they use. And at least a little chip and chase here to shoot to start this off. And again, they use their speed. At least a little chip and chase here to shoot to start this off. And again, they use their speed.
Quick reload. The quick transition of that
Here to
is where they
shoot.
capitalize on teams.
And again, they use their speed.
Have that quick reload.
A little bit of a bad play from behind the net by Dubnyk there, and that gives the puck away as the goalie gives it away. Kessel, he does this so well as he sneaks in from behind and goes behind the net and hides. Nugent Hopkins can't pick him up. He doesn't cut in front of the net. This is just a great pass, however, by Matthew Lombardi that fooled everybody on the ice except for Kessel. As he doesn't cut in front of the net, and this is just a great pass. He can't pick him up.
Conley, Branson, Dubnyk. Conley into the slot, and the shot by Crab was blocked. Crab able to muscle it back in a little deeper. Don Gilbert gets it out. Brought to the line by Ben Eager. Shoot in that Reimer has a little difficulty with, but presses it up against his body to hold.
Now Dubnyk here on this last play, a little bit of a mix-up with his defense behind the net. And that's what starts it off. As Dubnyk there traps the puck and then just can't get a handle on it. And that slowed the puck down enough for Matthew Lombardi to get possession. He'll circle high, get the puck back, and then dish it off to Kessel.
Here's a chance at the blue line, and the shot is blocked there by Mike Brown. And he presses it in a little deeper. Don Gilbert gets it out. Right to the line by Ben Eager. Shoot in the cut. Reimer has a little difficulty with, presses it up against his body to hold.
Now Dubnyk here on this last play.
History with Potter and the New York Rangers organization likes the way that he plays, and being a little bit older, 27 years of age, he has that veteran presence out there, and he came in prepared to make this team. And lo and behold, he's here at the start of the year, and he has the ability to really take that big shot from the blue line. First time we get to see Ben Eager in a regular season game.
Three blocks and a shot from us. 4 seconds. Here's a chance for Armstrong again. Colby Armstrong. Back to the net for Mike Brown. Brown hustles into the corner after the loose puck. Brown thought about cycling it back for Armstrong, but it was gobbled up there, and Hall gets it out, and Brown shoots it right back in again. Pretty good shift there from Mike Brown.
It was a tough play for goalies because sometimes the puck will skate away from you behind the net, and your entire team is expecting the goalie to stop the puck, and when he doesn't, it normally means that the opposition is going to get puck possession behind the net like the Leafs did.
Everly unable to come up with the puck on the shoot-in. Kuhlman gets it freed up, and here's Carl Gunnarsson in over the line. Played around to the near side. Kuhlman is there again. Had it knocked off his stick. Horkoff gets it out. Eric Belanger plays it in over the line off the glove of Cody Franson, and Franson takes it around back to the net. Franson up the middle. Mark McCarthy couldn't handle it, and the puck goes back down into the Toronto zone, and Lyles will play it ahead, and apparently Kuhlman touched that. Though I'm not sure he did. The linesman says he did, and he was right there. Speed. Outside, brought on by Belanger. Belanger pulls up at the line, had a shot, though, that was deflected into the corner by Reimer. Let's get clear of it back into Edmonton territory. Here's a giveaway again. Dubnyk! Nice goal! It was brought on by Belanger. Speed. Outside, brought on by Belanger. Belanger pulls up at the line, had a shot. Outside, brought on by Belanger.
He knows something that came back February the 2nd, and this Edmonton Oilers defense, Tambellini broken down a little bit, and probably a lot.
Smith, back to the goal. Ryan Smith loses it. Nugent Hopkins was upended. Puck comes back to the blue line to Smith. Speed tried to get him in front, but couldn't, and now it is backhanded by Nugent Hopkins back into the corner. Ryan Smith gets it out in front. Giveaway in front of the goal. Shot! Deflected wide of the net in front of the Leaf netminder. I would hate to be counting the giveaways in this game.
High.
Here's a chance in the line for Apr.30, and the hat-trick goal shot line.
How good is Eberle? Wow.
Kessel back the other way. Kessel steers it into the corner. Connolly couldn't come up with it. And Tom Gilbert will get it up on the wing. And now here's a pass up on the left wing side. Gagne knocked down. His father Dave is in attendance tonight up here in the press box.
I thought he was on the ice for a while early.
I told him he was. On the left wing side, Lombardi with speed. And he is upended and into the corner. No penalty there either.
Thanks for that, Joe.
That's all right. And over the line for Hall. Chased by Carl Gunnarsson. Centered in front. And it's back onto the stick of Lombardi, who was slow to get back into the zone. Here's Lombardi back in the other way. Takes Hall to the corner. Where the sideboard pushed ahead then by Ryan Jones, but not out. Ryan Whitney dropping it back. A long lead pass that has gone astray. This will... no icing there either. Played up on the wing to center. Armstrong can't come up with it.
Refs on our charter to Edmonton to Winnipeg early.
There they are. Malone takes it. Oh! Went off the stick of Reimer and almost deflected out in front of the goal. Offside.
I like it. The refs are letting them go. Why not?
Tim Nowak finally blows the whistle. 4-2 Toronto.
And go unnoticed. And Mike Brown here with a couple of big blocks when the score was still 3-2. And there's another one. And then he gets the puck out, battles to get the puck out. And what does he do? He goes right to the net. And this fourth line for the Maple Leafs have been able to come up with some big minutes for the coach the last couple of weeks.
Well, in a checking role, late in periods, and instead of a liability, they're being assigned some very important minutes in a defensive role. And many times checking the other team's better line. So
with 15 games coming up in 31 days, at least we're going to need everybody. We got a lot of hockey on in the next little while.
Gagne steers it down into the Toronto zone.
Including both goalies. If anybody wants to start the goalie controversy, there isn't one. They both are going to have to play, and they're both going to be needed the next little while with this schedule.
Right off the boards on the left wing for Hall. Hall with a pass ahead to the line and in. Eberle moving to the middle of the ice to Webster. And then shot it off the stick line. Phaneuf got a piece of it. Phaneuf banks it ahead. Jordan Eberle has never had a hat trick in the National Hockey League. He's had about 4 chances to get one here in the second period. Kessel down the board, centers, McCarthy with a bullet, and that was stopped. He gets a bonus try, pass in front looking for Kessel, didn't work. Pass off the boards for Kessel, then by Franson, and his centering pass, and Hall intercepts that. Nugent Hopkins getting it ahead at center. Left wing for Ladislav Smeed. He'll play it around back of the Toronto goal. And Franson has it in his skates, finding it there to get it around in the wing, but it's cut off by Smeed. Smeed down into the corner. Kessel chasing him. Smeed still with it. Trying to cycle the puck, flips it back to the net, cut off by Lyles, but Smith has it again. Back to the blue line it goes. Long shot is whistled wide of the net by Petrie, and Reimer never moved. Petrie with it again. Pass in front, gobbled up, brought out at center. Franson looks for a pass on the wing to Lupel. Lupel cutting in, and the shot is deflected off the glass. Hemsky bringing it back the other way. Smith with a shot. These two teams will meet in about a week's time out in Edmonton. Kessel launches a bouncing shot in on Dubnyk. 11:14 to go, second period. 4-2 Leafs. Out at center ice and snapped down into the zone. Against the boards, Lombardi can't get to it. Hetzel getting it back to the point. Long shot taken there by Parker is blocked. It goes into the corner. They bang away in there with Ben Eager trying to come out with it. And Shen trying to outfight Eager for the disc as it is played high to center ice over the outstretched hand of Parker, but it's going to be right on goal. Dubnyk leaving it there. Up on the left wing for Eager, rolling it in on goal, and it was just off the mark wide. Jones shedding the stick of Carl Gunnarsson that may have been hooked onto him. Here's Gunnarsson across the line for Brown, and his shot went wide. Armstrong Half-boards far side, down back of the net for Steckel. Steckel trying to center, and the paddle down play. Dubnyk knocked that away. Played out at center ice, and the Leafs regroup it again. Franson banking it ahead for Armstrong. Armstrong back to Brown. Brown coming through the neutral zone was upended, and the puck goes back down into the Toronto end. Cody Franson around back of the net. Jam the brakes on. Got it up on the wing for Armstrong. Now to Brown. Brown slides by one and hustles into the corner as the Leafs. The remainder of them change on the go. Sneed around back of the net. And it's cleared out into the center ice area on the left wing for Hall. Hall with a sharp angle try. And as it rolled into the goal, it was smothered by Reimer before it was poked out of his glove. 4-2 Leafs midway through the second. Tonight, Daryl Sittler's 10-point night against the Boston Bruins and Dave Reese. There is no other recorded evidence of that game other than the one copy of the game that Daryl Sittler actually owns of the full game. And Daryl has the only copy of the broadcast of that full game.
Dave Reese burnt his copy.
Yes, he did. Face off to the right. 10 points in one night. We were down here with a group from Sudbury, courtesy Inco, watching that game, and it was really something. Into the corner it goes. Back to the net for Grabowski. Played ahead for Kuhlman. Kuhlman unable to get it out. The centering pass knocked off a skate, and Clark MacArthur is away. It's a 3-on-2 rush. MacArthur looking for Grabowski. Going to the net for MacArthur. Oh, he banged on it, and he had another glorious chance there. But look, a pass in for Grabowski doesn't work. Clark MacArthur makes contact with that. He had that whole side of the net. Leafs are trying to change. Hall skates through center, hits the line, wrist shot, and Reimer finds that after it struck him and holds for a face-off, and the draw coming to the left. Watch this great bit of passing.
Everly with a little bit too fancy a move there, creates a 3-on-2 against the line. You don't want to do it against the hottest line on this hockey club, and Parker almost finishes that off in another pretty passing play on the 3-on-2 rush.
Draw one by Toronto, and Cody Franson snaps it up to Kessel, and his pass was under the reach of Lupo. Sneed back in his own zone. The Oilers are as healthy as they have been all season long, and ditto that for the Maple Leafs. We'll have Darryl Boyce still in the infirmary, but that's it. Rosehill and Komisarek are healthy scratches. Brought in on the right side now by Bozak, and a centering pass going there. Lupo trying to keep it in along that left wing boards, loses it. As it comes to center ice, Miles gets it back to Bozak. Now for Kessel to Lupo. Lupo with a shot, and that deflects over top of the net. Lupo trying to come out from behind the goal, had it knocked away. Sneed will play it up on the left wing side for Smith. Ryan Smith, the veteran, in over the line for the Oilers, trying to get around Luke Schenn, but failing. Off the boards, gobbled up there by Parker. Parker, a sharp angle shot off a leg wide. Far side maintained by Jeff Petrie. Petrie trying to make a turn, gets it back into the slot. Gilbert's shot is high and wide of the net. Kept alive and sent in then by Anton Lander, and a whistle here as it will come outside the blue line.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
And look, MacArthur, again, this year, he had such a slow start. You wondered if he was going to be able to duplicate last year's season, but he's well on his way now, having a terrific second half.
Then around on the boards, ahead it goes to Joey Crabb, on to Conley. He couldn't get around Lander, and it banked off the boards. It's a delayed offside. Eager was in there. Going to turn into an icing anyway. So it'll be brought back into the Oilers zone. Ron Wilson was a little upset with his crew in the first period. They've settled down a little bit in the second.
And goals have not been an issue for his team this year. And defending was an issue earlier in the year, but you have to be impressed the way the Leafs have tidied up their own end. They close gaps between forwards and defense much better. And of course, it goes without saying, the penalty killing has been huge ever since the start of the year.
14 games without giving up a goal on the power play, and they are battling the likes of Gordy Drillen, Silaps, Nick Mitz, Wally Stanowski, Bucko McDonald, and Turk Broda. Because the 1940-41 team went 15 games without giving up a power play goal. As Happy Day was running the operation with that Toronto team. And here's a look at what's gone on as far as the Leaf penalty killing is concerned. They have launched themselves all the way to 29th place as far as the overall.
A long way to go after the start they had.
Yeah, they're coming from a long way back.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Way back.
This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Long shot, score!
Long way to go after the start they.
This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Long shot, score! Yeah, oh, yeah.
Way back.
This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Long shot, score! 11 goals! Down, but the blast from the blue line is deflected and taken in. And it might be Horkoff who gets the goal. Petrie with the shot. It's 4-3.
Right off the face.
Petrie with the shot. It's 4-3.
Right off the face-off. And a scrambled draw here. It gets back, actually a clean draw.
First playoff
The puck goes right around, and I think that might have just gone straight in from the point. I'm not sure.
If it is Petrie's second goal of the season.
It is Ryan Smith's
And
11th goal.
the scoring fest continues. It is 4-3.
Yeah, and the play, Lupo was on the boards. He may have arrived a little bit late as the puck was rimmed around the boards by Franson, and Lupo does not trap the puck. That allows it to go to the point, create the chance to score from the point.
Everly sends it down into the Toronto zone. Oilers with 21 shots, the Leafs with 17. And the pass ahead, and here's Grabowski back in, taking the shot, then let it go. And Dubnyk was not fooled by the quick move and is able to take it on the chest and hold for a faceoff.
And there's Lupo now talking to the defense right now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Lupo's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or stick on it now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Lupo's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or stick on that play. That's a tough play for Lupo with the left, because he did not have a lot of time to get there, being on the offside. Puck went to the
Second period.
Lyles takes his time a little bit or takes something off the puck. The Leafs have a better chance than Lupo does of getting the puck out of the zone.
Vanelka Smith with 6:11 to go in the second period.
Lyles takes his time a little bit or takes something off the puck. The Leafs have a better chance than Lyles takes his time a little bit or takes something off the puck. The Leafs have a better chance than Lupo does of getting the puck out of the zone.
Vanelka Smith, two old combatants from the Battle of Alberta. The shot is smothered by Reimer.
They're going to give this to Horkoff, so maybe he did touch it.
At any rate, it's a one-goal hockey game again.
We don't think he touched it. I'm not sure he did either. And here's the Lyles play, up the boards. Here's the shot. Horkoff right there puts his blade out. We don't think he touched it. And then on the bench, he's saying, I don't think I touched it. Nope, I don't think so. I think that's your goal, kid. Our deputy captain saying, not mine.
Oilers with 21 shots, the Leafs with 17. Pass ahead, and here's Grabowski back in, taking the shot, then let it go. Shot for the center. Dubnyk was not fooled by the quick move and is able to take it on the chest and hold for a faceoff.
And there's Lupo now talking to the defense right now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Luke pulls a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or stick on that play. That's a tough play for Luke with the left because he did not have a lot of time to get there. Being on the offside, puck went to the point, ends up in the back of the net because of it. That's a tough side. Puck went to the point, ends up.
The Leafs lead Edmonton 4-3 with 6:11 to go in the second period.
Lyles takes his time a little bit.
Taking the shot, then let it go.
Over the second period.
Taking on the
And there's Louisville now talking to the defense right now. It's Michael Lyles and throws it around to Smith. Louisville's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to get his body or stick on
5 goals in 7 minutes.
did not have a lot of time to get there. Being on the offside, puck went to the point and ends up in the back of the net because down there, right wing board that way. That makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck because he did not have a lot of time to get there. Being on the offside, puck went to the and there's Louisville now talking to.
And Dubnyk was not fooled by the quick move and is able to take it on the chest and hold for a faceoff.
And there's Louisville now talking to the defense right now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Louisville's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or stick on that play about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Louisville's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or get something off the puck. The Leafs have a better chance.
From the battle of Alberta, smothered by Reimer.
And they're going to give this to Horkoff, so maybe he did touch it.
At any rate, it's a 1-goal.
And then on the bench, he's saying, I don't think I touched it. Nope, I don't think so. I think that's your goal, kid. I think that's the captain saying, not mine. So that.
5:49 left the second period. 5-3.
And there's Louisville now talking to the defense right now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles.
Twice they were able to challenge Luongo from sharp angles. And the first bid looked like it was more problematic than this one on the little spin-around cram play. Here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Couldn't lose Luongo on it. Been a good start, I think, from what the Canucks would like to do. You got to think they want to play a solid team game where they force this young Oilers team into mistakes and then.
With 18.9 seconds left. He got credit for that one. It might not get credit for this one. Here's Armstrong sending it back to Steckel. They cycle it along for Lyles. Lyles sends it back in the backhand. Brown got there first but couldn't make a play. And it is cleared out into the center ice area. And here's Nugent Hopkins across the line. Hemsky with a shot that's blocked. Off the bench comes the defenseman Petrie to get it back in the net. Bang in along the boards, and Lyles comes out with it. Jake Gardner leading the rush. He is in need of a change, so he sends it down deep into the Oilers zone. 5:04 to play in the second period. He's 4, and the Oilers 3. Oilers back behind the net, dishes it off to Miroslav Speed. He gets it back again. He'll try a long roundabout way to get it ahead. Jones got a piece of that, so there's no icing. But up. Off the glass through center, past Crab. Almost stolen by Lombardi. And now sent into the Toronto zone, Carl Gunnarsson. Off the boards to center. They're on to the stick of the Oilers. They have to wait for teammates to get onside. Lombardi couldn't come up with it. Gunnarsson does to Lombardi. Pass ahead for Conley. Conley on the right side for Crab. Back to Conley again. Conley sends it high into the left wing corner. Crab trying to get there but can't. And on the wing, Eberle gets it out at center. Round back of the net. Eberle with a pair of goals. And the last Oiler with a hat trick against Toronto. Marius Cherkasky. 1997. on the left wing. Gardner chases his man, and it's Everly. Into the slot, and fanning on that shot there was Gagne. He hasn't fanned on too many recently as it's played down into the Oilers zone. Ozak around back of the net. Gagne starts out with it. Former London junior slips it high into the left wing corner. All after it, got spun around there by Phaneuf, but it comes back to the blue line. Again, taking the shot. They let it go.
Another save. They did 20.
Taking the shot.
They won.
Going to the line drop to get back as tracking forward and break up that rush for the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to look at what so far has been a dry Oilers power play. They worked on it this morning. Didn't have any penalty killers against it, but it was pretty obvious what they wanted to do. Simple, double net presence in front and get pucks past that first blocker and to the Canuck net. Didn't have any penalty killers against it, but it was pretty obvious what they wanted to do.
1 hour, 1 minute, 6 seconds. 1 hour, 4
double net presence.
Can't keep it in. Potter off the boards on the wing. Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass goes struck Phaneuf and bounces ahead. And Grabowski, he's got a man with a loose ball shot. That is stopped. Kessel after it. Phaneuf a drive. Knocked down. Score! And it bounces ahead. And Grabowski, he's got a man with a loose ball shot. On the wing, Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass goes struck Phaneuf and bounces ahead. And Grabowski, he's got a man with a loose ball shot. That is stopped. Kessel after it. Phaneuf a drive. Knocked down. Score! The puck still free. Grabowski frees it up. Coleman shields it on the boards. The puck still free. Grabowski frees it up. Coleman shields it, and he finds a lead pass for Lyles, trying to get in over the line there against Gilbert, and it rolls in on goal, and Dubnyk knocked it away. Laid around back of the net for Clark MacArthur. The Leafs, who had 5 goals the other night in Ottawa, have got another 5 going here. And there's still a period to go, and 2 minutes and 12 left in this second period. Back down into the Toronto zone, and Luke Schenn turns with it now. Schenn working wide with a pass through the middle that's being deflected too high over the glass
1 hour, 3 minutes, 32 seconds. 1 hour, 40
into the
minutes,
screen,
32 seconds.
out of play.
Intact Insurance, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, your back.
Joffrey Lupul ends a bit of a drought. That's his first goal against the Oilers.
First goal
Since February of 2004, which was 9 games ago. But some injuries had a little problem in there.
I don't know how you can grab the puck, bring it around in front of you, and then put it on your stick and have the play allowed to be counted.
You push off your left foot, Greg.
Wow. Thank you, Bill Mazeroski. And that looked like the play at second base. It was a neighborhood play, and that's how you end up making double plays, I guess. Wow. Icing call coming here against the Maple Leafs. The Oilers didn't raise much of a ballyhoo about it, other than Dubnyk being upset by the puck not being cleared.
One of the better stories in the National Hockey League, I think, Lupul, the way he had to come back after his injury issues and getting ill as well because of it, and losing all the weight that he did at one point, thinking he'd never play perhaps in the National Hockey League again. And here he is with an absolute incredible year that nobody thought he would have, including himself.
And you know, the performance he put on in Ottawa at the All-Star game has really made him one of the faces of this franchise. Personality-wise, ability-wise, and you're right, the story is a great story. And Joffrey Lupul is enjoying every minute of it, and it shows. And across the line, broken up there by Potter. Left wing feed for Everly.
I say, Joe, it's another example as well of how you have to let kids mature sometimes and grow up a little bit in this league. And often we don't do that, and it's a tough thing when you're a manager, when you're in results business, but sometimes if you're just a little bit more patient, often You're rewarded for it.
Finally in across the line. Lombardi driving the net. Picks up the rebound, and Kraft failed to knock it home there against Dubnyk. 25 seconds left in the period. A shot by Gagne. And for once, one of his shots doesn't go into the net. He's on a slump.
Even tonight now, this line has been terrific.
Yes, it has.
Every time they're on the ice.
Our offside waved off. Dubnyk. Center for Ryan Jones. Bob had lost it. Eric Belanger won it. Got it ahead at center for Ryan Jones. Jones in over the line. The Oilers and the horn.
One to the period.
Hockey Central coming up. Leafs in a bit of a scoring fest here. Leading 5-3. Welcome back to the Air Canada Centre, where the Maple Leafs have a 5-3 lead in our second period summary, brought to you by Intact Insurance. You're back. Joffrey Lupul finishing off the scoring with his 21st of the year at 16:54. Let's go down to ice level now and join Scott Morrison.
Thanks, Joe. Obviously coming into this game, a big focus for the Maple Leafs, the red-hot Gagne line. The game plan coming in was to get Manouk and Gunnarsson out as often as possible, along with the Grabowski line. And even though they've given up a couple of goals by Eberle, they like how that matchup has been tonight. They've taken away a lot of the time and space. The goals they got, Scott Gordon, the assistant coach, told me came from mistakes they hadn't been making in recent weeks as a team. So they like that matchup and will continue forward in the third period with it. And you guys mentioned earlier about the 28 scouts here tonight, an unofficial Air Canada Centre record. They represent 23 teams. The countdown is on. 3 weeks to trade deadline day. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Scotty, and Garth Malarchuk and the rest of the Leaf scouting crew, a lot of them in town as well, so they've added to that list of scouts that are in attendance. They all do such a great job. As the Leafs have a 5-3 lead heading into the third period. Jordan Eberle has two.
He's been the best Oiler for me tonight in this game. And what a creative kid, a little give and go. That ended up in the goal behind the net, and then early in the game here when Hall threw it towards the net and Eberle opened the scoring for the Edmonton Oilers in the first period.
And they have officially changed the Horkoff goal to Petrie getting it. So his second of the year. And as you saw reading the lips, Horkoff saying, I don't think that's
Touch that 21st in the postseason.
there were guys in your area, though, and your that used to rush across the ice and point at themselves, and I got a piece of that.
Not many. Once in a while. Larry, Curly, and Mo give me a little shot again about the Gagne thing.
Actually, I think none of them is Shannon. Mo's like Jeff was the best.
Well deserved. You make one mistake early and they jump in, don't they?
Ian in on the wing with a sharp angle shot, stopped by Reimer. Bozak turns up ice with the lead pass for Lupul. He's got Kessel trailing on the play, but he carries on. He's in a goal! And that was stopped by Dubnyk. What a chance that was for Joffrey Lupul.
And a real issue for the Edmonton Oilers tonight is Maple Leafs have been able to twist and turn and get lots of room through the neutral zone as the gap from defense to forward for the Oilers has been way too big. And when you're playing against a speedball team like the Maple Leafs, look here, Lupul just walks right through two players and gets an excellent chance on Dubnyk again.
Eberle on the right wing side, drops it back. Corey Potter gets it to center. Manouk stepped into his man. The puck goes around back of the net. Centering effort doesn't work. Now on the near side, trying to come up with it. It's centered back by Hall to the blue line. Speed into the corner. Back to the net. Carl Gunnarsson getting it up on the wing, and Mike MacArthur gets it out, but unable to reach it. And then stealing it is Grabowski. He's into the net. Rolls it up the middle. It's in behind the goaltender. And swept back to the goal by Overlook. The goaltender. Number 6. Who electrified the crowd with a rush. In a goal being scored by Jake Gardner. That time he almost put it in behind Dubnyk himself. He is just flying these days.
Their coach not far away.
Jones Sends it down into the deep corner. Orkoff unable to come out with it. Played to the line, but not out. Gilbert can't send it to the net. Gets in another try and a long shot. Fairly easy block there by John Michael Lyles. Lyles got it in off Lombardi into the corner. Played by Dubnik, but right onto the stick of Crab. He tried a quick centering pass, didn't work. Now it comes in front. Conley had to reload that, but then sent it wide. Gardner working down the right side, stops. Now sends it into the corner. Conley holding the puck, sends it across into the left wing boards area. And here's Shen sending it right back behind the net. Lombardi, a nice play to take it away from Gilbert there momentarily. Now Crab unable to get to it cleanly, and Ryan Jones has slipped it out into the center ice as Barker and Crab have a little bit of a shoving session, but nothing more to develop.
We've seen this a lot of late. We've seen this a lot tonight. Bobrovsky just turns it up and just takes the puck right to the net. And Dubnik here with the poke check that almost didn't work. Just not enough. This almost just went right in.
Almost knocked it in with his goal stick when he came back over.
Absolutely.
Over across. Steckel has the stick knocked out of his hands. Brought out now by the Oilers. Sent back into the Edmonton zone and brought in over the line. Breaking it up. Oh, the shot. Oh, what a save made by Reimer. Ben Eager coming across, and Reimer got the right slot in front of that. And the blocking glove in the paddle of the stick makes the save. Sneed into the corner. Sneed trying to send it. That comes in front of there. Another shot. Stopped by Reimer. There's a rebound. Where's the puck?
I think Shen just saved the goal behind. There he did.
He did.
And a couple of big saves by Reimer. One on Ben Eager moments before this. And here's the second one there as he gets a piece of it. Ball, the bouncing puck. And look at Luke Shen. Knocks it into his goalie and then lies down on the goal line. And here's Eager coming to the net. And Reimer's going to get his blocker on this there. As Eager beats Luke Shen to the net. What a save. What a save as the goalies have been active tonight. They've given up a lot of goals, but they've had to make some pretty good saves also.
Shen and Gardner combined +5 tonight, each +10 for the season for those two young defensemen.
High pass goes out into the center ice area. Oilers back to regroup it. Chipped down in over the line. And fed right back in again. Here's the loose puck. Side of net. Nugent Hopkins trying to jam it in, and that didn't work. Puck bounces back to the blue line. Fed over on the near side again. A long shot is off the mark line. Smith trying to get to it and can't. Oilers keep it in with Ryan Whitney. Whitney on the left wing half boards trying to find a man. Plays it back to the net for Smith. That got by him. Kept in at the point by Potter. And then cut off by Cody Franson. And freed up by Lupul, and Lyles launches a big backhand to center that Kessel couldn't find a way to come up with. Back at center ice for Gagne. And a turnover there. Sent into the corner again. Phaneuf unable to get to it. Everly dancing around, and Phaneuf working on him. Hall carries into the corner, chased by Carl Gunnarsson. Back to the point it goes. Barker unable to get it in front, and now here's Everly with a pass in front, and rolling off his stick was Gilbert, who had a great scoring chance. There's a centering pass there, and down at Reimer to knock it away. Phaneuf under siege here, plays it to the line, but not out. Right back in again. Here's a chance in front of the goal, and Phaneuf got there just in the nick of time to knock down Hall. Changes coming for both teams. Big siege there by the Oilers, and Hall took too much time to either make up his mind to make a pass or take it to the front of the net.
And I think both players there ended up getting shaken up a little bit as Phaneuf's bent over on the bench. Maybe it's just equipment. We'll find out in a second.
This period brought to you by Chevrolet, driving our world forward.
With all of the giveaways, there's still just 27 shots.
Chevrolet, driving our world forward.
With all of the giveaways, there's still just 27 shots by the Oilers. With all of the giveaways, there's still just 27 shots by the Oilers.
There's this skate might have come up and hit him enough from the leg. That's deja vu there, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes.
He's been there before.
Shot, stop, rebound in front, wired right with the goal. The rebound comes in front, and Gardner's able to get it away.
Into 7-7 before we're done.
No kidding. James Reimer faced 49 shots in Ottawa, and with the shutout, and the previous high was 47 by Mike Palmatier in 1977. Most shots against the Leaf goaltender registering a shutout. Draw to the left of Reimer. And it is shutout, 49.
Into 7-7 before we're done.
No kidding.
Break up that
James Reimer faced
Edmonton Oilers. We're going to look at, so far has been a dry Oilers power play. They worked on it this morning. Didn't have any penalty killers against it, but it was pretty obvious what they wanted to do. Simple, double net presence in front and get pucks past that first blocker and two beacon up net for power play. They worked on it this morning. Didn't have any penalty killers against it, but it was pretty obvious what they wanted to do. Simple, double net presence in front and get pucks past that first blocker and two beacon up.
Attack with that because he knocked it wide of the net.
Well, this is something that's been lacking from the Leafs game so far, the transition with speed so far tonight. And here it comes, and I think Dubnyk did get right across. No, he missed the net on the first chance, but certainly gets there on the wraparound attempt by Grabowski. And the tip by Kuhlman, that's the way the season has been going for him, as he misses the net, and he was wide open with the goalie going the other way.
Nugent Hopkins waved out of the face-off circle. Smith in there, and the puck comes up on the grab into the forecheck. Conley as well. Played to the line and out. Lyles sends it high into the zone. Gobbled up there and brought on by the Oilers, but unable to make a play with it was Ben Eager. Cody Franson. A bank pass is deflected by Armstrong down into the Oiler end. Steckel got a piece of his man. Brought out now by Jeff Petrie. Onto the wing for Hemsky that didn't work, and Armstrong will knife it down into the Oilers zone again. Back of the net. Brown, Steckel. Brown with it again. Unable to make a play into the corner for an awaiting centerman and David Steckel. And now up the middle it comes for Nugent Hopkins, and onto the wing it goes for Hemsky. A right wing feed now for Potter. On shot wide of the goal. Whitney trying to keep it in and does. Smith in the corner against Cody Franson. Steckel in there trying to help out. Smith gets it freed up. Alex Hemsky trying to come out of the corner. Brown got a piece of his man, and it is sped around the boards by Lyles, but not out. Maintained by Potter. Jammed in there is Lyles. Armstrong finally gets to it and is able to chip it out into the center ice area. Gagne, as both teams are changing, sends it back into the Oiler hill. Right wing feed sends Gagne back into the Toronto zone. Spun around on the play, hit by Lyles. Panook with the loose puck up on the wing for Lupul, and Lupul with a long left wing feed. Try for Kessel didn't work, and then a drive launched by Petrie ends up way up into the screen and out of play. Leafs hanging on, and I do mean hanging on to a 5-3 lead.
He wants to show this again. And, oh, man, I mean, Taylor Hall in this play, and it's created quite a conversation about helmets and warm-ups, of course. And that was just an awful incident.
Corey Potter stepping on his head, and there is the end result.
And Taylor Hall, I mean, he only missed a game, if you can imagine. And I love the way this kid plays. He's a gamer, and what a skill set he has. A terrific skater with power.
It was so reminiscent of the Boreas Salming incident, although the game was being played at the time when Salming got stepped on in the goal crease by Gerard Gallant, and yet he left immediately. He got off the ice, and you didn't know at times why he had gone or what the injury, how severe it was. It was over 200 stitches for Boreas Salming. And that photograph is a famous one. The aftermath.
Well, we're on the topic. A tough day for coaches, too. You got Tom Rennie not in the game tonight because he got hit with a puck this morning, and Lindy Ruff got run over in practice. And
here's Bozak with a chance in front. Down is Dubnyk, and it just went wide.
Lindy Ruff, broken ribs. They say he's going to be okay. He got completely run over today as well in Buffalo.
Leafs flip it ahead. Brought in over the line by Lupo, but squeezed to the boards, and it's down into the Edmonton zone.
I can't believe Doug McLean never got run over. He couldn't even skate for crying out loud.
There you go, adding fuel to the fire. Hall with a drive, and it's whistled over top of the goal.
I couldn't resist. You have to have the last word, in the third period.
Just when we thought you guys were getting along.
And an offside at the blue line.
Actually, he wasn't bad, actually. I'll give him that. Not bad.
So the face-off outside the line.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada.
One of the old coaches, Maxie Silverman in Sudbury. They used to push him out onto the ice, and he used to hang on to the net. Never mind not being able to play, he couldn't skate.
The worst skater I ever watched, for me as a coach that I had, was the late Roger Nielsen. Oh, Roger had trouble getting around as well, yeah.
Hey, you guys, you've got to listen to Tim and Sid Monday to Friday on Sportsnet, the Fan 590, or listen online at sportsnet.ca from 1 to 4 Monday to Friday. What Tim has lost on his head, well, Sid's more than made up in terms of the eyebrowage, and these guys have got a couple of personalities, and they've got some opinions, and on the odd occasion, they kind of agree. But they're big fans of our show, and of course, we're big fans of their show Monday to Friday.
Tyler Bozak with his 10th goal of the season. One of the 5 the Leafs have scored. His 31st point. He had 32 all of last year. Around on the boards off a leg. Gobbled up by Toronto and brought out at center by Crabbe to Lombardi. Back to Joey Crabbe and over the line. Crabbe with a shot. Glove save Dubnyk. And it will be held for a draw in the Oilers zone. 11:08 to play in the third.
Now 3 shots that got by Reimer, but he's kicked some rebounds out, but I've liked his movement tonight. There's been a lot of traffic. This is a difficult team to play against the Edmonton Oilers because they're very creative. There's an excellent save on Eager in the third period, and Shen helped out the cause a little bit here in the third period also as he saved the goal. Thanks a lot, he said.
And got to thank you, Pat, for his efforts. Oilers control the face-off and bring it out with a pass ahead. Deflected in by Hall. And the Oilers turning it over and getting it back. Hall again has it turned over that time as he had it knocked off. Edmonton 15-8-3 on home ice. They've won 3 of their last 20 on the road. Canuck loses it. His shot goes off the leg as 4 Leafs were strewn in front of the net. Blocking shots. Grabowski sends it off the glove of Clark MacArthur, and MacArthur sends it down into the Edmonton zone to get a change going. Not been a power play here tonight. Leafs have had 3 games where they've not allowed a power play, but there haven't been any penalties here tonight.
And the funny part of that as well is the Oilers the 3rd best power play in the National Hockey League, and the Maple Leafs the 5th.
The Oilers as well, Greg, the 6th most penalized team in the National Hockey League, whereas the Leafs are the least in that group back up the other way.
So an icing charge here, and it's coming right back into the Edmonton zone. And the thing about penalty killing is you don't have to be real good at it if you don't take very many. And this is really quite a statistic.
It's a remarkable stat, really, that they've been able to stay out of the box and keep their sticks down and not get some hooks and holes. It's incredible throughout the course of the game.
And 2.5 less power plays per game. It's an enormous statistic.
And as we head back to Winnipeg, back on January, or at least December 31st, 6 penalties that night, and the Jets scored on 3 of them. So it's been quite a turnabout as the Leafs get
Some hold that they've been able.
Very mentioned. This is really quite a statistic.
National Hockey League.
The Oilers as well. Jordan Eberle. Eberle.
The Leafs are within 1. Penalty killing is you don't have to be real good at it if you don't take very many. This is really quite a statistic.
A remarkable stat, really, that they've been able to stay out of the box and keep their sticks down and not get some hooks and holds. It's incredible throughout the course of the game.
And 2.5 less power plays per game. It's an enormous statistic.
And as we head back to Winnipeg, back on January, or at least December 31st, 6 penalties.
Before much talk in the second period, rather, it is an interesting topic. There's been much talk about him being traded before the big night that he had. The Knights. I'm looking at him tonight, boy, it'd be a tough thing to do, trade Sam Gagner. This kid's a real good hockey.
Played up on the wing, Bozak, a lead pass, Kessel, with the slow up in order to get it, and then shot just wide. He had to hold the blue line until the puck got there. If it had gotten to him quicker, he was in alone.
I think the only way the Oilers make that trade is Doug McLean mentioned if they get a real strong, good, young defenseman. The only way they can do it.
Back at the point is Gardner, dished off for Conley. Conley sending it down into the corner now for Lupul. Lupul and Kessel back of the net. It's flipped on the front of the goal and shot by Conley just wide. Leafs in the midst of a change. And an exhausted Phil Kessel's heading.
The Oilers as well, Greg, the 6th most penalized team in the National Hockey League. The Leafs are the least in that group.
Coming right back into the Edmonton zone. And the thing about penalty killing is you don't have to be real good at it if you don't take very many. This is really quite a statistic.
Remarkable stat, really, that they've been able to stay out of the box and keep their sticks down and not get some hooks and holds. It's incredible throughout the course of the game.
And 2.5 less power plays per game. It's an enormous statistic.
And as we head back to Winnipeg, back on January, and as we
for the game, talk
came on Sportsnet all night.
Discussion about Sam Gagner before the game, before the Cruiser hockey in the second period, rather. It is an interesting topic. There's been much talk about him being traded before the big night that he had. The Knights. I'm looking at him tonight, boy, it'd be a tough thing to do, trade Sam Gagner. This kid's a real good hockey.
Played up on the wing, Bozak, a lead pass, Kessel had to slow up in order to get it, and then shot it just wide. He had to hold the blue line until the puck got there. If it had gotten to him quicker, he was in alone.
The only way the Oilers make that trade is Doug McLean mentioned if they get a real strong, good, young defenseman.
Back at the point is Gardner, dished off for Conley. Conley sending it down into the corner now for Lupul. Lupul and Kessel back of the net. It's flipped on the front of the goal and shot by Conley just wide. Leafs in the midst of a change. And an exhausted Phil Kessel's heading to the bench. And the Oilers will launch it down into the Toronto zone. It will be interesting to see if Brian Burke does anything. And the way this team is playing and the chemistry that they have developed, you may get the feeling as you go along that less is going to be done rather than something large. And it will be interesting to see what happens. Lombardi back to the point. Cody Franson sends it to the net off the post. And then it struck Dubnyk in the seat of the pants and went wide. Crab got a piece of that. But Franson got the puck through again. The Oilers are going to have to wait for teammates to get onside. Gagne trying to snap it ahead, does to Everly. Everly saucered it in, cleared to the line but not out. Kept alive by Gilbert. Gilbert gets it back to the point to Everly looking. Whoa, another post. The bells of St. Mary's are going off here. This has been a wild one, and Everly comes within an iron of his first career hat trick.
Goalies have had some breaks as well. It's just been such an open affair, and there's a
puts it back to the point to Everly.
Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there is absolutely no way that James Reimer saw that one, as there was a ton of traffic in front of him.
Always nice to hear it, though.
A nice sound. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feel.
He comes within, back to the point to Everly looking. Another post. The bells of This has been on.
Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there is absolutely no way that James Reimer saw that one, as there was a ton of traffic in front of him.
Always nice to hear it.
A nice sound. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feeling.
Mark MacArthur will launch it.
You heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feeling.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feeling.
Mark MacArthur will launch it down into the Edmonton zone. Kuhlman with a little head fake to gain the air.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feeling.
Mark MacArthur will launch it down into the Edmonton zone. Kuhlman with a little head fake to gain the area back of the net. Centers back in for MacArthur. Bounces in front. Dubnyk has scooped that up. Is going to hold on.
The forgotten man on this line a little bit is Kuhlman. Yes, he has not been producing the way the Leafs would like him to produce this year, but he does a lot of nice little things for you on the ice defensively. And often he'll be the first player with the puck on the line to make that key play to get out of the zone or that little chip just inside the offensive blue line. He's starting to get his game back a little bit more in the second half of the year.
30-goal scorer a year ago, just 5 thus far this season. And he has had the hard luck year for sure. Trying to push it down the boards there was Armstrong. Brown brings it in a little deeper, and now here's Steckel around back of the net. David Steckel back for Armstrong. He eludes one. Armstrong coming out in front of the backhand. And that ramped up off the stick of Ryan Whitney into the screen and out of play. And then Brown gives Whitney a bit of a shot on the way by, and Armstrong will get a word in there as well.
It's going to be tough for Armstrong for a while. I don't think we should expect too much from him. When you miss this much time the last couple of seasons, and you have to play catch-up with just over 30 games to go, that's tough. That's really tough to do, and it's going to take him some time. And he's not an overly quick player to begin with, and it's going to take him some time to really get his game back. And he's the kind of player that if the Leafs make the playoffs, you kind of think, he reminds me of kind of a playoff player. Guy that will get involved physically, draw some penalties, and so he may be a valuable player before this is all over. But again, it won't happen overnight, I don't think, based on the injury issues that he's had.
Well, they want to play the game more along the wall than they do in the middle of the ice with Steckel and Brown and he. And they've done that, and when they do get a chance down in the offensive end, they're usually working the cycle pretty well as Bozak turns with the loose puck and now sends an alley-oop, and here's Kessel after it at the shot away, and that was stopped. And how many times have we seen that this year?
We're just saying the same thing on the talkback to talk to the truck. That is a set play now that Kessel uses a lot with his line mates. And it works when you have that great speed.
Now here the Oilers with it again. Gagne into the slot. Back to the point it comes to Barker. Barker's shot is blocked by Lombardi. And And back down into the center ice area it goes. The 2-goal lead here for Toronto with 6:08 to play third period. He's trying to nurse this one home and extend the winning streak. Center ice area for Lombardi. Grab trying to turn it back. And leading after 2 periods of play, the Leafs are 19-0-1. The only blemish was that collapse in the third period in Pittsburgh in the game that Ron Wilson felt may have been the team's best.
We haven't seen Nugent Hopkins here for a while on the ice. See if we can catch up to that in a moment.
Puck along the boards. And Grabowski slashes it ahead for Lombardi. Lombardi gets to center. Here's Grabowski in. Little fake and then tried to draw it around the defense. He still has it. Koolman in front. And he failed on the shot and it went harmlessly wide of the net. Back in the Toronto zone. Launched high into the center ice area. And that's going to be offside at the blue line. The Leafs with a 2-goal lead and 5:02 to go in the third period. And that's going to be offside at the blue line. The Leafs with a 2-goal lead and 5:02 to go in the third period.
Third period, and there is perhaps why as Mike Brown hits him. Hopkins just coming off a shoulder injury, just played, this is his second game back from missing some considerable time with that injury, and he has not played the rest of this period after that hit.
Well, a busy week for the Maple Leafs as we look at the Oiler front office staff. They'll play in Winnipeg, as Penny mentioned, a game you'll see here on Sportsnet. Then it is off to Philadelphia Thursday. And a night that a lot of us are looking forward to, and that is Matt Sundin's number 13 being raised to the rafters here on Saturday night when the Montreal Canadiens arrive. At the blue line. Sent in now here, the Oilers trying to press with a pass in front, deflected away, and played to the line, but not out. Arthur unable to grab it. Played off the glass to center and a race for it. Koolman giving chase, but won't get there ahead of Ladislav Smith. Right wing side, Jeff Petrie sends a long shoot in down into the Toronto zone. Smith overskated the puck, and Colby Armstrong turns now as he'll launch it on the backhand, and that's a little bit too much attached to it. And an icing charge is coming up here against the Leafs. Connected coming up after the game. Let's see what's going on there. .407 to play third period. Leafs trying to go 5-0-1 in their last 6. Here's Brown and Armstrong went hard to the net but didn't make any contact. Without a stick now is the defenseman Potter. Back of the goal goes Brown and pinching in is Lyles. Lyles back into the corner, intercepted by the Oilers and played to center ice. Cody Franson rattles it right back down into Edmonton territory. Sean Horcock coming to center. The captain gets it in on the right wing side for Jones. A shot, and that's deflected by the stick of Reimer high up into the screen and out of play.
Another good balanced night in terms of scoring anyway for the Maple Leafs, as they've had both their two top lines going. And against an Edmonton team who needs some work still defensively in that aspect of their game. Reasons why it's been a successful evening, as the speed has been huge again for Toronto. How many nights have we said that throughout the course of the season?
Well, speaking of balanced scoring, the Leafs have at least a point here tonight. Oilers on a 3-game road trip with a stop in Detroit before they play in Ottawa this week. Then return home, and the Leafs will be their first opponent after their road trip.
But again, the rebuilding continues in Edmonton, and I think they're going to be a real good team at some point.
Kessel, the loop ball, and the sweeping shot went just wide. Luke Shen with a drive and taken by Dubnyk and Hell.
Oilers have terrific forwards.
None of them involved out of Ottawa and into 7th spot. And it wasn't so long ago that a win by the Ottawa Senators here had them 9 points ahead of the Maple Leafs. And in the middle of that 2-week span or 3-week span was a week off for the All-Star break. So the Leafs have made up a lot of ground, and the Ottawa Senators have really stumbled. Everly lays it in wide of the Leafs goal. Out of the goal comes Dubnyk. They're going to go with an extra attacker early here. Long shot goes off a leg wide. Puck to the side of the net, goes back to the goal. And it's cleared on the glass, but not out. Good play made there by Petrie to keep it in. Where is it? No, it's on the dasher, boys. Petrie to keep it in. Where is it? No, it's on the dasher, boys. Petrie shoots. He scores! It's a glove pass.
Sat there.
What a goal that we're looking for.
Sat there.
Goal that we're looking for. You got it. No, I got it.
Sat there.
Goal that we're looking for. You got it. No, I got it.
There it is.
Goal that we're looking for. You got it. No, I got it.
There it is. It just he jumps and it just sits.
There it is.
Right on the side. How many times do you see that? The boys are saying, where is it? Where the heck is it?
It's in your equipment. I got it. You take it. Goaltender Dubnyk back into the goal with the face-off outside the line. Oilers control. I got it. You take it. Goaltender Dubnyk back into the goal with the face-off outside the line. Goal with the face-off outside the line. Oilers control. Hall gets it in, and Dubnyk to the bench for the extra attacker again. On the glass and around the boards, but not out. And then chipped on the wall, but not cleared. Hall with a long shot that's wide of the net. Far side now for Gagne. Back to the blue line, just pipped in by Taylor Hall, who got over there. Into the corner, it goes to the side of the net. It comes in front, and the Leafs will gather it up. And it's launched to center ice by Clark MacArthur. Grabowski unable to get to it, but MacArthur didn't want a chance. A shot at the net, and then produce an icing. Back down into the Toronto zone it goes. Gagne back to the net. Everly can't get to it. Grabowski can't play it along for MacArthur. Back to the point it goes. Petrie, near side Hall. Hall gets it back to the blue line. Petrie shot it wide, and it deflected wide off the foot. Leafs unable to get it freed up. Now they do. Clark MacArthur saucers it ahead, but again out of the reach. MacArthur can give it a whack now, but unable to get it towards the goal. Off a skate and down into the Toronto zone. No icing. Canuck pushes it along the boards and into the near corner. Gets in there after it as well. Snapped it ahead for the Leafs to Gasol. Scores! Corner. Gets in there after it as well. Snapped it ahead for the Leafs to Gasol. Scores! Scores! Even from 110 feet, he had a pretty good hockey net.
You know, this isn't easy to do. It's playing hockey, scoring from center ice up, even when you have time, can be a little tricky. And how about Phil Kessel here? He just slows it with traffic right to the middle of the net. And that sums up the kind of season he is having. This series.
Brian Burke will head down to the dressing room a tad bit earlier after Kessel ices this with his 29th of the season and second goal of the hockey game. Miles plays it high into the center ice area. Goal of the hockey game. Miles plays it high into the center ice area.
Oilers before tonight is 6-18-2 on the road. This That's all we can do as a franchise in that area.
Carter and Phaneuf get the assists on the goal. Phil Kessel's second, his 29th of the season. As he closes in on the 30-goal plateau again. A pass up on the right wing side for Jones. Unable to hold the line there was Ryan Smith. Final 10 seconds.
One of the things you talked about, Joe, at the start of the year is the Leafs' home record had to be better. Well, that makes it now 16-8-4 at home, and that's better. Much better.
Last year they were 18-14-8 at home. Today they are 16-8-4 on home ice. And the point's well made. And here's a look at the Eastern Conference standings as the Maple Leafs fall over the Ottawa Senators with 62 points and still 2 games in hand on the Senators. A look at our Molson 3 stars. Mikhail Grabowski. Star number 1, Jordan Everly with a pair of goals, as did Phil Kessel, the game's number 3 star. 30 shots apiece as James Reimer wins his 3rd straight. It's not a shutout, but it's a W. Let's go to Connecticut.
1 hours 40 minutes 54 seconds of 1 hours 40 minutes 54 seconds.